have gone in, taken the seed, and now are genetically modifying it in the laboratories. And the second issue, patenting the wild rice of the Anishinaabe people. Again, this is a gift from Mother Nature. You don't have to do anything. In fact, you should have a sign, you know, if it was Anglo-Saxon, we'd have a sign, do not disturb. Because what happens is, as the snows melt, the lake bottom is stirred up, and then the seeds that had been dropped from the previous season start sprouting, and you don't have to plow, you don't have to plant, you don't have to do anything. You have to just sit and wait for the wild rice to be harvested. This is the traditional way, but I have a traditional picture because it's still the way, where you use the hackers to simply bring the wild rice down and get the grains into the canoes. And you can see if you do that, it's quote inefficient, so grains drop into the lake bed and they're the wild rice crop for next year. What is happening with industrial agriculture is they wanted to come onto these lakes and cut them at the water level mechanically. Not allowed to do that, but that is now how wild rice is grown in fields in California. The point of the biopiracy is the theft, is the patenting. Yes, you can freely take seed. Should a corporation, should a university be allowed to patent it? Another example historically of biopiracy, which is closer to Cortez and goes back to the destruction, the fires that the pirates light, is that the United States, we don't know the exact number, 50 to 70 million buffalo. You all know Buffalo Park up in Flagstaff. Some of the buffalo got this far. We had a systematic policy, the US government, Generals Sheridan and Sherman, known for their raised earth policy across Atlanta to win the Civil War, were sent out to the West by President Grant to annihilate the buffalo, to destroy the culture of the Plains Native Americans. It's official policy. You can read it in any US government archives of how they formed this military policy. Quite similar to Cortez. You destroy the food base of a people, you destroy the culture, and that is the only time at which Native American plains, on the plains, surrendered to the forts across the Great Plains. It wasn't until the buffalo were destroyed. The policy started in 1868. Again, 40 to 70 million buffalo. It only took 15 years. By 1883, the federal government had destroyed the buffalo. The way we did it is what you see here. It had to wait, the 1868, until the two transcontinental railroads were finished. And they boarded the trains and shot the buffalo herds through the windows. And the train kept going, and then another herd and another area until they were destroyed. This we call biopiracy by destruction. It's not theft, it's destruction. Not too dissimilar, well, this is biopiracy now by theft, keeping with the animals. Tule is an Ndebele word in southern Zimbabwe. It's related to Zulu and Tule. Tule means dust. Cattle come from two parts of the world. The geneticists not yet put them together. So there is a genetic origin of cattle on the African continent and a genetic origin of cattle in Asia. The Tule are the original cattle in all of Africa, and they come from southern Zimbabwe. They have been developed, bred to withstand very dry, dusty conditions. Tule meaning dust. They need very little water, so they can eat coarse grass, very little water. And the beef is incredible. It's very, very succulent beef. They calve very easily, so very good for a beef industry. What happened in the 1980s, and that's with the independent government of Zimbabwe, and the independent government of Zimbabwe helped this to happen, so the government is involved. The frozen embryos were taken from Zimbabwe with the help of Zimbabwean scientists, so Zimbabwean scientists were involved. And they were shipped over first to Australia and then to the United States. So you have frozen embryos from this very, very ancient variety of cattle coming to the United States. It has now been crossbred in the United States, and it is fantastic. And you can see we even have a North American Thule Cattle Association. So a second part of this is they've actually even taken the name Thule. You cannot use the name Champagne for sparkling wines. We have California sparkling wines, not champagne. We have basmati rice with the word basmati. It is illegal to steal the name Thule. It's been done. But they also have stolen the embryo, and the reason I say that as a scholar, even though the government agreed, is because there has been no recognition back to the people who bred this cattle for 7,000 years. There has been no benefit sharing back to the people who have given us in North America this new genetic base of cattle. Our cattle industry narrows and narrows and narrows the genetic base of the cattle because they're breeding for very, very good traits. But once you narrow that genetic base, you've got to expand it again, or you get what we get when we marry cousins. Okay? So you have to have diversity in your genetic breeding. So you bring in a very foreign genetic characteristics and you can start over again, narrowing the base. So this was done legally, as you heard me, but I, as a scholar of political economy, call it biopiracy because there's no recognition back to the original people. There is no benefit sharing back. The cattle industry make about $1 billion a year, and they have also taken the name. The people who bred this cattle right now, and it has to do with the politics of Zimbabwe, your industry in the United States, the people who gave us this cattle are living on $1 a day in southern Zimbabwe. Okay, finally, an example, just to show you. This is Zimbabwe, okay, in southern Africa, South Africa. And then the island that is marked is Madagascar, Malagasy Republic. And this is another example where the sharing, taking of plants has been extremely beneficial. I think having a North America Cattle Association using Thule cattle is beneficial. It's just that we need recognition. The Madagascar has a rosy or Madagascar periwinkle flower. It's unique in Madagascar. It is the genetic origin of the periwinkle. And this goes back a little bit of ways into the 1960s when Eli Lilly discovered that one of the compounds in this flower was able to treat leukemia. Huge success story. We now have a cure for childhood leukemia down up to 95%. 95% of the cases of childhood leukemia are cured now. It used to be 10%. Can you imagine such a gorgeous flower giving us that medicinal benefit? Extremely, extremely important. And no, the Malagasy people did not discover that. Eli Lilly did. And so Eli Lilly definitely should profit from that technological knowledge and from the cure, or almost cure, of childhood leukemia. What one of the problems is benefit sharing back. Because that plant was pointed out to Eli Lilly by people in Madagascar. There's millions and billions of plants out there. It's the traditional medicine men who said, well, by the way, we call this a healing plant. We use it for these reasons. So Eli Lilly noticed the plant because of the indigenous knowledge. This is Madagascar today from space. The World Bank estimates that they've lost 50% of their forests in 40 years. That's from logging. That's from lousy, we should criticize government policy. The point I'm trying to make is that Eli Lilly has not shared back 1 penny to the people of Madagascar for the benefit of the rosy periwinkle. So not that Eli Lilly should not gain a profit, they should. They have also given us a gift. But why not benefit back.